and when she found her power inadequate to her attempt, enraged at her non-compliance, she treated her with the grossest unkindness and threatened her with poverty and ruin. Miss Evelyn, to whom wrath and violence had hitherto been strangers, soon grew weary of such usage, and rashly, and without a witness, consented to a private marriage with Sir John Belmont, a very profligate young man who had but too successfully found means to insinuate himself into her favour. He promised to conduct her to England. He did. Oh, madam, you know the rest. Disappointed of the fortune he expected by the inexorable rancour of the Duvals, he infamously burnt the certificate of their marriage and denied that they had ever been united. She flew to me for protection. With what mixed transports of joy and anguish did I again see her. By my advice, she endeavoured to procure proofs of her marriage, but in vain. Her credulity had been no match for his art. Everybody believed her innocent, from the guiltless tenor of her unspotted youth and from the known libertinism of her barbarous betrayer. Yet her sufferings were too acute for her slender frame, and the same moment that gave birth to her infant put an end at once to the sorrows and the life of its mother. The rage of Madame Duval at her elopement abated not while this injured victim of cruelty yet drew breath. She probably intended in time to have pardoned her, but time was not allowed. When she was informed of her death, I have been told that the agonies of grief and remorse with which she was seized occasioned her a severe fit of illness. But from the time of her recovery to the date of her letter to your ladyship, I had never heard that she manifested any desire to be made acquainted with the circumstances which attended the death of Lady Belmont and the birth of her helpless child. That child, madam, shall never, while life is lent to me, know the loss she has sustained. I have cherished, succoured, and supported her from her earliest infancy to her 16th year, and so amply has she repaid my care and affection that my fondest wish is now circumscribed by the desire of bestowing her on one who may be sensible of her worth, and then sinking to eternal rest in her arms. Thus it has happened that the education of the father, daughter, and granddaughter has devolved on me. What infinite misery have the two first caused me? Should the fate of the dear survivor be equally adverse, how wretched will be the end of my cares, the end of my days. Even had Madame Duval merited the charge she claims, I fear my fortitude would have been unequal to such a parting. But being such as she is, not only my affection but my humanity recoils at the barbarous idea of deserting the sacred trust reposed in me. Indeed, I could but ill support her former yearly visits to the respectable mansion at Howard Grove. Pardon me, dear madam, and do not think me insensible of the honour which your ladyship's condescension confers upon us both, but so deep is the impression which the misfortunes of her mother have made on my heart, that she does not, even for a moment, quit my sight without exciting apprehensions and terrors which almost overpower me. Such, madam, is my tenderness, and such my weakness. But she is the only tie I have upon earth, and I trust to your ladyship's goodness not to judge of my feelings with severity. I beg leave to present my humble respects to Mrs. and Miss Mervyn, and have the honour to be, madam, your ladyship's most obedient and most humble servant, Arthur Villiers.